Good evening. Those of you that have been following my adventures with this Laser 100 engine, this is probably one of the final videos on it. So I've made a little foam cutout here because in the attempt to try and understand why it isn't running exactly right, I wanted to do a couple of things here that maybe haven't been seen on video before, and show the viewers and subscribers hopefully some new things. So I've got the glow plug taken out, and I've got the 4 back screws removed here. Now what I'm going to do is I want to check the timing again, even though I didn't run this engine first, to make sure that it generated the maximum RPM that it's supposed to. I'm assuming that when I put the gears back in, I tried to put them in exactly the same way I took them out, but I'm questioning now whether I'm not off a tooth somehow or another. But in doing that, and those, like I said, those that have been following these videos, you'll see that I had been having a lot of oil leakage come up from the base of these pushrod tubes for some unknown reason. So anyway, I've got the glow plug out here, and I'm going to make sure once again that I've got this thing at top dead center. Intake goes down, and now we're looking for top dead center. Okay, I think I've got it at top dead center here. So what I'm going to do is put this in this piece of foam to try and hold it like this. And I'm going to zoom in here real closely. So first thing I want to show is this has had, I don't know, 5 or 6 runs on it. And like I said, you saw a whole bunch of the oil coming out of the top of the bottom of the pushrod tubes. I want to show you how much oil is inside this engine, this area of the engine, after 5 or 6 runs. So I have not wiped it or done anything with this. And there you have it. There's the oil. I kind of expected to see a lot more, but I'm not. So that leads me to wonder, why am I seeing so much oil being pushed up through here if this thing isn't just full of oil? That's one thing it makes me wonder about. I'm going to see if I can zoom in any further here before the camera starts to not want to focus. I want to get as zoomed in as possible. Okay, I guess that's as good as it's going to get. And and it looks to me like it's timed properly, because I know John had mentioned that this is an old engine and they don't use these tooling pins anymore to make these things. So later laser engines would not have these little, what I called initially were alignment marks. They're really not. They're actually there for tooling for when they made this engine. But to me that looks correct. But it's funny because if I go off just like 1 degree off a top dead center, then suddenly it just doesn't look right at all. So it's hard to tell exactly if I'm really at top dead center. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm right there. And that was, I think I was seeing it like this one time. I turned it just a hair and I was like, oh my god, am I really off a tooth? But I really don't think I am. Now the other thing I've noticed here with this engine, and I actually noticed it before I put it back together, is, see that play there in that gear? Just seems like that play shouldn't be there. Is that a contributing factor to me not generating full RPM? I don't know. But one thing that would be a contributing factor is if one of these gears was off a tooth. But honestly, I don't know that that's the case. Or maybe, oh god, it seems like there's a lot of glare. Maybe they're both off one. I don't know. I'm hoping, I'm going to try and see if John will take a look at this video and see if it looks like this is proper timing. But these tooling marks are right at the tip of the cam lobes. So it looks like I keep getting some real interesting glares there. I think that looks pretty good. But anyway, so I just wanted to show real quick that, it's not like there's a ton of oil just pooling up in this engine, so it's very curious as to why I would be seeing so much come up through here unless John's theory is that this exhaust, which I'm touching and you can't see, one of John's theories is that this exhaust has some internal baffles that could be clogged with carbon, but for the life of me, I've put this in my ultrasonic cleaner for probably over an hour, vibrating and cleaning, and I've blown through it with compressed air. I'm feeling a lot of air pressure coming out when I blow in there, so that's a strange exhaust design if you can blow air through it completely and still have a clogged baffle enough such that it affects the way the engine runs. I don't know. So it's like, you know, I could do one of two things. Initially, one of my videos also showed that I had a massive fuel leak right around here. Well, the last 2-3 times I ran it, I didn't see that fuel leak. So it's like I'm not getting any kind of consistency or consistent runs or symptoms out of this engine other than a lot of fuel or a lot of oil residue being pushed up through these push rod tubes, and I don't understand why that would be. So I could go and invest the money in a new muffler and a new carb and hope that everything would be okay, but that's like almost $80 and there's no guarantees. So I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this engine right now, but I did want to at least show some of the internals here, and like let me zoom back in here real quick and just kind of, well, maybe that was too far for my dumbass camera. I'm just going to rotate this through the direction that a prop would go so we can see how things, and see how this is wobbling. It's almost like that shaft is bent. And here I think we're at top dead center again. But anyway, so this concerns me. I never did remove this. I never did tap that out. I think that's all it requires is maybe some heat, and then it just presses out. But I'm not sure how healthy this is here. And that's not a spare that I see on the Laser website either. It just seems to me that this should be not have this kind of slop in it at all. So I don't know where I'm going to go with this engine right now, if I'm going to leave it as it is or if I'm going to actually invest some money in it. But since this potentially could be the last video made of this engine, I thought I'd at least share some additional things that I saw there. So thank you for watching these videos and taking this journey with a used, apparently heavily used Laser 100 with me.